Hello, everybody. Welcome to the afternoon session of day 2 of the Community Conference 2024. I am Nishtha Relin from FES. We are going to be covering. We are going to be looking at the commons and biodiversity theme in this session today. We're going to look at initiatives taken around the protection and conservation of a region's diverse flora and fauna and its various other species and habitats that sustain biodiversity. I'll wait for a couple of more speakers to join in. And before we move forward, we'd love to share with you a quick glimpse of how the first day of the Community Conference 2024 went. See that we covered a couple of themes yesterday. We looked at water governance, land governance yesterday and in the first morning session today. Here we are going to look at commons and biodiversity. We know that commons conservation is extremely closely linked with biodiversity. Not just we know that the keystone species help in maintaining a thriving ecosystem, and ensuring their conservation helps us conserve commons, helps us ensure that all of our lives and livelihoods are secure. Extremely important for maintaining ecological balance. And a lot of our speakers today, we have 4 speakers with us today. One from Karnataka, 2 from Meghalaya, and 1 from Kyrgyzstan. They're going to share with us critical stories of conservation of biodiversity around commons, collective action and community efforts undertaken around them. And that should help us understand, open a conversation on this. I hope that we are able to exchange our own experiences, our own knowledge, and our questions with each other. Please feel free to ask a lot of questions. Please feel free to bring your concerns here. This is a platform for knowledge exchange for all of us. We're really looking forward to hearing from you. We are also joined by community members who can see us and hear us from across the country, from a lot of places. We are holding local screenings for community members. And if they have any questions, we'd love to take those questions also. I'd be mainly speaking in English, but I can translate a little bit in Hindi. And I'll just be doing that for some of our audience. Please let us know in case there's any language issues, in case there's any access issues. सभी को नमस्कार. हमारे साथ आज जो जनता जुड़ी है उन सभी का स्वागत है कम्युनिटी दूसरे दिन के आफ्टरनून दोपहर के सत्र में। हम इस सत्र में कॉमन्स एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी के ऊपर बात करेंगे, साझा संसाधन और जैव विविधता के ऊपर। हमारे पास कर्नाटका से, मेघालय से, किर्गिस्तान से स्पीकर्स जुड़े हैं। आप लोग जो कम्युनिटी स्क्रीनिंग्स में, लोकल स्क्रीनिंग्स में हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, उन सबका भी बहुत नमस्कार। आप हमसे कम्युनिटीज से आपस में बातचीत करनी हो और सवाल पूछने हो तो प्लीज पूछें। हमें बहुत अच्छा लगेगा अगर आप अपने सवाल, अपने ख्याल हमको चैट बॉक्स में हैंड रेज करके हमसे पूछते हैं। तो कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स को भी वेलकम है कि वो कोई क्वेश्चंस किसी एस्पेक्ट्स पे और बात करना चाहें तो प्लीज करें। हम शुरू करते हैं अपने पहले स्पीकर से, फ्लेमिंग लिंगडो जी से। फ्लेमिंग लिंगडो जी हमारे साथ मेघालय से जुड़े हैं। फ्लेमिंग लिंगडो सर, वेलकम। You're with us from Meghalaya. You'd be you'd be telling us, sharing your experiences around conserving Meghalaya's biodiversity, community efforts in Kharten and Umtrem. Please let me know if I do not pronounce anything correctly. I'll try to correct my pronunciation immediately. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Nishita. Yeah, I think you are pronouncing it very correctly. I mean, there's no changes or no mistake in that. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me in this platform. So, shall we move ahead with the presentation?
Yes, sir. Would you be able to switch on your video?
Okay, sure.
Willing
Hi.
to put a
Yeah.
face to the names. Welcome.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Your presentation, right?
Sure. Shall I share
Just
my
a moment.
presentation now? Okay.
We can share it from here, sir.
Okay, sure.
Just be a minute.
Sure.
Where in Meghalaya are you joining us from today?
From Shillong, from the city itself. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. So, before we begin, I would like to introduce myself properly. My name is Fleming Ling.Nonglight, and I work with the grassroots organization. It's an local NGO here in Meghalaya. So the topic that I choose now is commons and biodiversity. So it's about the biodiversity in one of the two villages here in Meghalaya, Umkram and Kharting. So we have been working closely with these two villages. So I get a lot of information and data from these villages. So before we start, let's just move ahead with the the history of the Meghalaya biodiversity. Shall we move to the next slide?
Next.
Okay. So as it's mentioned there, Meghalaya, it's a very small state in northeastern states, but it is known to be home to a rich biodiversity and a lot of different plant and species in the region, and also in the there's so many species. For example, medicinal species also are present in Meghalaya. Also, so many famous orchids like the very indigenous uh, Khasiana. It's a orchid. So it is home to these very different and large amount of these species that are present here in Meghalaya. So the reason I chose this topic is that because from the data that I've collected, it says that before in the past, let's say just the past let's say 10, 20 years back, the forest in Meghalaya, it's known to be a very diverse array of wild cultivated plants, edible fruits, leafy vegetables. But as years goes by, due to human activities and also mainly due to human activities, these forests tend to be degraded down. I mean, starting from the huge dense forest to open forest. So the next, we have come to the next point number 2, that is the Kartin and Umkrem. These are the selected sites here in Meghalaya. I mean, there are so many sites, but we have just taken just 2 sites, Kartin and Umkrem in Meghalaya. So a little bit of history of these 2 villages, these are a little bit outskirts of the city, probably let's say 75 to 80 kilometers away from the city. So in Meghalaya, when you look at Meghalaya, these places which are outskirts out the city, they are supposed to be rich, in terms of biodiversity, in terms of forests, in terms of everything, more natural. And where people in the village, they do not it's not a city or a town, so there are less numbers of population in the village. But these 2 villages, population is very less, but when you compare to the forest and the biodiversity, it's degrading down each year and after year due to the human activities. So I have noted here in the point number 3, local status. It's just for an example, like I've said before, it could be arranged, in a span of 10 years or 5 years or 50 years, So when we went to the village, we had a discussion with the local committee and people from the village. So what they said, back in probably in the, probably in the 40 to 5 years back, 40 or 40 to 50, let's say 10 years back below, before these places, I mean, they are a major home to these different animals and plants. I mean, a huge diversity. I mean, a huge number of different varieties of fauna and flora. But looking back at now, this year, it's just barren land. I mean, there are the places that used to be with huge forests, but now it's open and barren land. So these are, these activities, I mean, these occurrence happen. So actually, the animals and the plants which used to be present there before in those years, I mean, but now it's extinct. I mean, some are extinct. I mean, you don't find that anywhere else. Yeah. So that is the local status. I put it there, just to measure, just to compare a comparison between what happened, what was the situation back 50 to 10 years back and now, just a comparison. So let's go to the next slide. So this is, the perfect example with the photo. I've taken here just 2 uh 2 lines, I mean 2 spaces. The left one, it's this it's a place, a forest. It's not in Karting, but somewhere nearby Karting. So I've just put it here just to show an example. I'd say that this is the left one, it's kind of let's just say it's a live forest, a live biodiversity, where you can see rivers, where you can see trees, where you can see greenery, the green environment is there, so I would say that this is a green environment, and the left one is the place in Karting. See, I mean, what happened, they said before it used to be like in the left one, lot of trees and a lot of rivers and a lot of animals, but now, I mean, there's I can't, there's not even a single tree out there. But these happen because due to the deforestation, massive scale of deforestation. And when you come back to the next photo down below, when you enter the forest, inside that forest, you saw, those mushroom, so many different anti-FE products, mushroom and some vegetables and some flowers and so many things are there, So I would say that this is the place should be this, a biodiversity, a hotspot for, for a wildlife to live. It should be in this way. But when we look at Umkrem and Karting, slowly these areas have turned to be, in this situation where it is unable for even for a rat to live in. So these, I'm just showing the example here, what is actually supposed to be, but what is supposed to be in these areas. So next slide. Okay, so we've come to the main cause of what was the cause for those from a hugely densely forest and rich biodiversity, and now becoming the barren land. So the main is the jump cultivation. So this practice, it is actually was practiced in the 1980s. It was informed by the local community. This practice was practiced very highly in the community, where people, shifting cultivation. From this year, they slash and burn the patches of forest for cultivation, but for next year they will shift to another one, starting from that. So every time they do that, they cut down many trees. But later, as as the season goes by, there comes the rain, so the soil erosion happens. So that was the, I mean, how's the process becoming to leading to the barren land, or let's just say cultivable wasteland. And forest fire and charcoal, it's a very interesting point here, forest fire in these areas. I mean, they are village people, so they have these domesticated animals. So people there in the village, they burn these forests intentionally. I mean, with the expectation that, every winter they will burn the forest, because they hope that, for the next year, these forests will, they will be grown up with the newly and fresh, plants and vegetation. Oh, so
Sorry.
uh, is anyone is asking a question?
No, not right now. It's okay.
Okay, so that was the main problem is the forest fire. People, they burn it intentionally, because they hope that for the next year, they will be the green vegetation and newly fresh will grow out in the forest, and they will keep this for grazing of their domesticated animals. And charcoal, it's a, it's a business running in these two places, where people, they will chop down trees and they will burn it and they will make into charcoal, and these charcoal will be commercialized to the city. They will sell to the city and to the nearby places, because Meghalaya, it's very cold in winter. So people, they tend to buy charcoal from these villages to, for cooking, for making, for making people the house warm. So these kind of activities are involved. And also furniture products. It's Shillong. It's a very famous for artwood, artwood designing and artwood craft and furniture products. So these people, it's the same thing happened. They cut down trees every year. I mean, pine trees, oak trees, whatever trees are there. So they will turn it into furniture products and will sell these products into the city. And fuel wood, we they don't have natural gas or heater in the village. So what they do, they depend on the forest for the fuel wood, for the cooking, for anything that requires fire to make, for their household activities. And so we, after discussing, the prime reason and what about the situation about, in the past 5 years, and what is going on in the past 10 years, and what is going on now. So after, with the help of these grassroots organization, we went to the village. We conduct programs about environmental conservation, about biodiversity. I mean, what is actually happening if we don't conserve now? What is the actual problem going to happen in the future? So these people are willing to change their behavior. I mean, their attitude towards the environment. So they have formed out this very important committee. It's called BMC, the Biodiversity Management Committee, where 10 people from the village people, they are elected by the village itself, where they will have these chairman, chairperson. So this committee is responsible for monitoring, in the village itself, for the environmental protection. In this committee, they have formed several laws, again, forest fire, against the cutting down of trees. I mean, in a large scale. I mean, everything about environmental protection, it is monitored. And also in this committee, I think it is recognized by the government also. This committee can go and approach some, government office, government departments, in getting schemes for, for environment protection, and also for conserving and recreational activities for environment. For example, that they will go and approach these government departments, some schemes like afforestation, so they will get free saplings. And also there are different kind of schemes regarding with the village committee. And also the other one also, it's for afforestation, reforestation. So every year on the month of during the monsoon season, in the month of June, so the village committee has put up as a law that every year on this committee, or in this monsoon season, people will have to, the whole population of the village will have to plan, at least 5 to 10 saplings per one person. So if they, and also they said, if they said that if a single person from a village requires to chop down a tree, I mean, we cannot ban the whole thing about not cutting down a tree, but we have just find some alternative way. So if person has to cut a single tree, he will have to plant at least 5 saplings, as a alternative way for that the tree that he chops down. And also this process will also helps to sustain for the future generation itself also. uh, I think that is it regarding from my side. So I have shown here the picture. This is for the charcoal, so you see the smoke there, and this is the forest fire. And these are the activities taken by the village people in doing to reserve and restore the environmental activities. And this is the meeting happen for the BMCs, where you can see the village people, they are having a meeting and discussing and also electing board members. And this is the in the areas where they will go and survey and monitor, what is actually happening and what needs to be done. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
I had a couple of questions to just sort of understand the
Sure.
timeline. For example, how recent would these efforts be that you speaking about these coming together of communities to the community to form norms and regulations for themselves, and these management committees? How recent are these efforts?
Um, I think that the BMCs, I think it was they started this committee last year, because we've started working with these 2 villages last year. So we gave them some kind of a awareness program about these committee. I mean, if you have this committee, you can get several schemes from the government. So they started last year.
There also a vision for a couple of years down the lane that uh, that the community wants to sort of reach, or
I'm sorry.
like is there a management plan or plan or a vision that the community wants to reach a couple of years or
In this committee,
not really?
yeah, I mean, in this committee, they have some sort of a strategic plan. I mean, say for example, in this 1 year, what activities they want to do, for the environment. Say for example, they have adopted these laws against banning on, hunting of wild animals, and also this programs where every people will plant trees. So in this committee, in this 1 year plan, so they will review it again the next year. I mean, how is the survival of the saplings? I mean, the active, the laws that they ban, whether it works or not, whether people follow or not. So they will monitor once a year. That's the plan how they work here.
Right. Thank you so much for explaining this, sir. We'll come back to you with questions.
Sure.
So requesting other speakers, our audience, tuned in from across locations, tuned in virtually, to please send us their questions to the chat box. Fleming sir would also be able to see some of the questions coming into the chat box. We will take them up towards the end of the session. हम आपके कुछ सवाल हों लिंडो सर के, तो प्लीज हमें भेजें। हम सत्र के अंत में उन सब सवालों को इकट्ठे लेंगे और सभी स्पीकर्स के लिए ट्रांसलेट सभी स्पीकर्स के लिए एक्सचेंज कराने की कोशिश करेंगे। मैं बहुत जल्दी से हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कर देती हूँ जो फ्लेमिंग सर ने बताया। I'll quickly translate it in Hindi and then we can move towards the next speaker. So, लिंगो सर ने बात की हमारे साथ खारतेन और उनक्रम जो कि मेघालय में रीजन्स हैं, वहाँ के आसपास के बायोडाइवर्सिटी के कम होने के कंसर्न्स की। कुछ 50-100 सालों में वहाँ की बायोडाइवर्सिटी, वहाँ का फ्लोरा फोना जो उन्होंने पहले पीपीटी में फोटोज दिखाई, उसमें जैसे क्लियरली दिख रहा था कि बाहर के कुछ एरियाज में कैसा बायोडाइवर्सिटी है और जिन एरियाज की हम बात कर रहे हैं वहां पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी कैसे कम हुआ है। इनके कुछ मुख्य कारण रहे हैं झूम कल्टीवेशन और डिफॉरेस्टेशन। तो अब कुछ पिछले 1 साल से कम्युनिटी ने इकट्ठे आके बायोडाइवर्सिटी मैनेजमेंट कमिटीज बनाई हैं जहाँ पे जहाँ पे लोगों ने रेस्टोरेशन के काम तो किए ही हैं और साथ में रिफॉरेस्टेशन रिप्लांटिंग के काम किए हैं। ये कमेटी एक अपने लिए गोल लेके चलती है, एक स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लान लेके चलती है और और सॉरी और सैपलिंग्स के प्रोविजन भी हैं कि कम्युनिटीज को सैपलिंग्स मिलते हैं तो वो लगा सकते हैं। अपने लिए नॉर्म्स बनाए हैं कम्युनिटीज ने कि अगर वो एक पेड़ काटते हैं तो उनको 5 पेड़ लगाने होते हैं। ये ये जस्ट है। आपके कुछ सवाल हो, आप और कुछ डिटेल में जानना चाहें तो प्लीज अपने सवाल भेजें। के लिए हम अपने नेक्स्ट स्पीकर के पास चलते हैं जो कि मेघालय से ही हैं। So we'll request our next speaker, who's from Meghalaya, Walsang Khardesang, who's also accompanied by Mr. Robertson Basang. Please let me know if I've pronounced your names incorrectly. I'd love to correct pronunciation. Welcome to the second day of the community conference. You're speaking about Hill Mina Sanctuary, a village's journey to conservation. Welcome, sir. Please go ahead.
Kumlay Sibon niya pero nga day ba wala son karukao gede I mantu jangga sinong pung gede banle nagampaga hill mena sanctuary pung ren core block kawes kasi hill ya najing sedang akam na kong ngiliyo ban kendu I nong tray conservation ban ya ka Asia
The device there.
Cambodia Thailand hagabaw yetu bahag tu diri ke Sumari ke Sim Pinadu nakatagapor don kita jengmut ba ngiru nakayang do kesnong in Sumarno in Sim bat hag benekong ni la penlong da ka aktif norba do kesnong ban bu ya ke jenda nak beta ban penlong kam ya ke kam hag banekong babun para membar ong ba kam tul ayu ya ke bangin Sumari Sim Rahdin ke jeng sutulang ili menjur bat la penlong no ban Sumar ya kasi moina bangin bu asau dong jong ke area jong ke senong berkuing ke kamoina udah istebat udah usim ubanang ba ban keren breu kadang la Sumar u haying breu penbut ya kasur keren bakran kita gitrai tiba Sumar ya I kita kasyong ni kaja kap leng kamoina kaju kap leng ha ikliu jong kiding ba bat kumjuru kap leng ru ha ying moina lene kita kiskum ke ba kibriu ke bu balong kum kene ka skum bat kawan kap leng ha kene ka skum ke na kene ka daw ha ka basdang na du usnam arja ka pra na kalyang dumi ku ka snong ya persyang ya mambu ya kene ke moina ha di area jong ka nong arok away ke terkompu ikini ke bu moina niki yung moina kilong hakene kom ijikan ya kene ka ying moina ka kini ke set bat hadin nang ta ni tap da kini ke sla nak benta kenang bakanom ji opo ke hadin kata dan ladap ya kaban hanya kene nilai ban bu hajrong dong kiding ke bajrong rong kiding ba bagin yo ban wan kha leng ha kom ke bang ibu ha gidre ring ba ha kan kom nang ba kisim kinyo ban sa kan rung ning ne ba wan kha leng ne ke hi kan ne kom la jule na du kibriu ke bamensua ke bodon hapo sunong lena hakene ka dong ka than ke dungi ke ka jingdon dong ka ka jingbam ka ba ki moina ki bam ka de ki kinda so dong ki so klau ki bahar kom bat nang tai ki jai so ki bagi bam ni ki so kantor nang ta ya ka kat nang ta ya usuk menkan bat kuwi ki jai jingbam na kalyang dong ka snong ni le kumne ba ya tu ki ding ki ba ini ki moina ki jubam ha ki so ki rai banginom khat ki himbu bakin nek kin sa kenang bakin sim ini ki moina kinju ya ka ban song ha kan ka dong ka than ka dung ka jing don jong le ka population ha ki snam ki ba sakmat snam khat pra arajar khat pra yu i ba ki jing don jong ki sim moina ka jan du jat dau kolong namar bagi ding ba ki ba ki ju song ju sa benta ki la lut tau ba ki pe pla pom lut pom pathar ki ding bat ka ba kalong ba ya kini ki jat ying ke bangla sina brig mensua klik bu yeti banda haba ke longkun da shua bakin her no ikun klik ban sim no eti bat nangta bisa pelong eti kum jumar khayi bandi kini kithan bordar Bangladesh dor jongki ka remha la ban sung dor khat transpa hajar du lai hajar ka wi sim de na ka daw ba ke jingdon jongki simoina kala jan du jai ka jingkut jingmut kum ka snong da ka we ka jingmut ngasim ka rai ban sumar ban ri kumbang le rai ban omsa ban penjot nasian baru ban le sim ban penlong ke mar khayi da ka ba la dalam ya ke bele persya ya ke kum kata ni phanya ki ka dor ran hajar te nadu kata ka por ha ka ba ngil persang ya ka ban bu pelong kum ka san suari nginom sa su ikena lene yano no ban bat gidiri ban siat na kumanta gisim om tang i moina hare giwe bro ma kum ka julong hagini gidong gitan ko jingi wat ye gisim ki bari ro di betong ban yo ban siat tem khoda hare gi betong ban siat hare nadu ba ni la persang ban le ye kane ka kam ban long kum ka san suari nginom sa su ba mano ban bat diri ala dangilap iku bukuta in hap ha ka fan bat la dadon gitu ke balik sim no igini gikun ke bangi ngelabu ku musnong bat bangilap bat sim iki bat gidi ya ke buku kita ngi fan tan hajar ya kita ke balik gumta ko
So,
nang ta
yes.
kapor ban ka pelang hadin bangila bu ya ke ka jieng moina ngila ban bu na du ubnai Januari Februari nang baki ne kisim kinyo ya ke ban wan wat lupa igini gieng tukha hi gisdang hi na du ubnai mat kum ta ter mat hadu ubnai dun akos ta di jukha bat ka jingkha jongki kalong don ki bakha si sin hagashi ayom don ki bakha arsin laisen nangta don ki bakha iwe ikon don iwe pelang don ibakha artli ba laitli pelang ke julong kumta ba lada ha iwe pelang bat ita ikun sim la nyeu i ba ilong ba kordor ba ilong ba sngai ba plung nang ta ilong ba start ba di bari abha te haga por mensua por ba kiadi ta iba kai wei ikon ka songdor sau san hajar kawe ka iwe ikon sim hari gitu ki bakha ar lai kali to giduna ka dor hoi bakai wei long ke kabaram dor ke jing tmu ko bokong san ka we de rengkat bat ngi kum ga snong om tang ba nge ba bangilale ya kan ke kam galong ba. Kajing yu I kejungi namar ba kini gisim kelas sedang berdujat. Kumba ngaliatu akmat namar ba ubril penjot. Amariang ru penjot namar ba kiding ba kemdon su. Jakasa jakasong jongki kemdon su. Nakata kadaung I ba kinsa dujat. Kumba long kiwe kijat sim. Kibahagi por banga ngadang kam kena dang kam samla. Ibunjat bahagi jat sim kibadon hakane katan kedong kejungi. Remeta kibabun him lapsu him di isu. Dia nak kata kedau di penek pensa dia kena ke sim moina kenang ba kalau we ki kun ki siu kejungi kinang yu I ya kena ka jat sim. Kabde ke jat sim kaba koridor. Kaba la ban keren breu kumba keren mangi kum breu. Kenang ta om tang kata rei. Kane ka kajing temu kejungi kalong. Ba kalau we jong ki barit. Away jong kapateng kejungi kan snow tu ba mangi ngi sumar ya gistim ya gimrat ya gimreng ya gidok nang makiru kin su tu ba makiru kin sumar lam na kamata jong kini ki gimrat gimreng gistim gidok nang ba ini imlang breu rengkat bat gimrat gimreng ba gistim bat gidok kata galong kajing temu ka ba kongsan ka bangi kwa ba kikun pateng dungi ginu I ba mangi ki kimi bangi sumar ya kimrat kimrang ki sim ki do ta galong ka temu ka kongsan ke kajing angnut na kalyang dungi kum ka sinong agbing angnut na kabanta ban penroy kan ka sim moina kalong om tang kata kumang leong ba tang ban yu I len tang ban tip ki kun ki siu kidungi han rai ngidong ru jing temu balada kane moina ki sedang ban bun kumang yu I ba meta le her ken hun da ken hun ke kan long ru kawe ka jing metoy na kumanta kin wan le se kinong wa ba pe gisim ban sundur gisim kum gitores len kum kinong jo kai pertei pada ka bakile kumta kan long ka jing yarap na kumta jongi kum kinong song sunong ak bangila ya kaban yo jing metoy da ka jing wan jongki na kumta wan pek ya kini gisim kaba kaduk kadwai kalong kaba ngadon kalong kumba ublay ulabu ya ubreu banongkong bat kabreu ke banongkong ka im bat adam haga kper edan lembu tang ya ubreu rai kabu lang ikimrat ikimreng ikisim ikido bakin ya im pahu im pahai ban ya syong lang ban ya im lang tikumta nada mangi kibreu nada ngi pendu no ya kini kimrat kimreng ikisim gido saya kan long tip kan dia ayu nak kata kajing im ko dungi kum kibreu dia namar kata kaya kajing kwa kajing kalong ba ai ba ini im lang im kido kimrat kimreng rengkat bat ngi kum kibreu kumba ubleu lebu per edan bangin im lang lang apa keduk kabalong kasdong umpung rengkat baga friend of mi ribar ni nalor bangila le ya kasan suari nak kata moina ya kawa umiru don senda jong kasinong dungi terter ngila sumar ya ka panginom sya su ban le ginu ginu ki kenja dawai ne ban penhabjar ne ban pendu re ka bang sya kalong tang ban kuai da kajing pentri kam jungi ya kam kum kane nong kuai menta labun ro sistem pelong ki kuai bat kan long ru kajing metoy na menta jong ki dong bagi tan ki jungi don ki bri kula imja imdo tang na menta ka kuai ha bro silter jong ka snam ini gelong ki kam ya ka ba ni na kalyang ka sinong nile beli sibon
I'm Robertson Basan.
Yes. Yes.
So I will translate summarize of mentally Wallison Carter's of that.
Right.
Okay. These are the bird nests which we locally did it. So I think you can see it there. It's made out of thatch and bamboo. And we keep them up in the high trees, which now it's difficult to find big trees. The problem was due to deforestation all those years, and since that has been banned in those years, and since we have met the International Conservation Service, like Mentri said, this is a summary first, then I'll come to my point. We came back home and formed a committee of the village under which we organize these things, how to conserve birds. Because Mr. Dr. Ashok from Thailand came and taught us, and we came back, and with that respect, for the last since actually we have started 2015, but when we originally implemented was 2017. And here the mentee also said that all the kids in the village cannot just shoot birds. Otherwise, in other villages, kids will have a catapult and would shoot any birds. Here in the village, we have about 7 kilometers by 3 to 4 kilometers width. That is a sanctuary for not just for hill miner, but for other species of birds. Because here we have migratory bird as well, all the way from Siberia and from other cold countries, northern countries. They come here because it's a warm country, and plus during winter it's warmer here. Then the mentee also said that we here will use these bird nests only during January. We have to place them in high trees, and during those months, the bird, male and female, would come to these nests that we have kept for them, and they would give hatch eggs and yeah, hatch out those eggs. And in those years, in all those past 10 years back, what happened is the local people would take those birds out and sell them to the local market. And especially here, we are very close to Bangladesh border. What happened is the supply goes like smuggling to Bangladesh. And when once you have only a single hatch egg, that is very costly. It goes to 3,000 to 4,000. But when you have 2, 3 birds, then that become less, 1,000, 1,500. But this smuggling is going on. But we have from the Darbar, the village Darbar, the Panchayat, have make a rule that nobody could go and pick up these birds, and nobody can shoot any birds. Plus, nobody is allowed. If anyone is found out, then they would be fined from 3,000 to 5,000 rupees. And if beyond that, we could take them to the district authorities. These things has been going on with a conservation effort. The population of the birds from the time we started and now the population is about 60% or more. And also, we are trying to bring in a bird watchers group. We are trying to connect to all Asian countries and Western countries so that they could come here, and via this conservation effort we have started will be a sustainable income or industry for our local villages effort, such that if we could have them during those seasons, especially when they have a mating season, we could see them in a flock, in a big so many birds, not just 1 or 2, 10 to 20 birds at a time, and we could photograph them. Also, he has mentioned that if we could have this, we also have a group in us we call the Friends of Ungi River, where we have done conservation effort, not just the birds, not just the reef, but also the river. Because our village is next to the river Ungi, where we have done a conservation effort, and we have a sanctuary there for golden marcia and chocolate marcia, which is our local fish. Then from here, we try to invite people from other parts of the state, other part of India, and other countries to come to our local village where you can enjoy rafting, kayaking, angling, and bird watching, such that this become a sustainable income for the local villages as well. So from my point now, uh, when once we met Dr. Ashok from Thailand, uh, we had a very vivid dream what to do, what to do with our local village, because it's not easy when you start it out, because everyone is against it. We have to face so many challenges that people are not even interested. Why should we take care of these birds here? What's the profit? We have to waste pocket money. We have to waste this. We have to donate for these nests like these. So it becomes for them. It becomes like it's a waste of time for other village community member. But when we push it forward. What happened is, yeah, we see good result, and people from other parts of the country also have come to us, and the village has been popular now. And especially this hill miner is a state bird. Not just hill miner, we have here barbird, we have blue-throated barbird, we have larpod, we have kingfisher of two types. One is the small one that live next to the river, the other one live next to other small streams. Then we have uh, bulbul, we have red cardinal, then we have the king of birds as well here. So now the population of birds has come up, especially now as winter grows. These birds would always migrate to warmer area, and our village is a bit warmer than any part of Meghalaya. And we are very close by to Bangladesh, just 7 kilometers away from here. So this has helped the migratory of birds, especially the wagtail, the white wagtail that comes from all the way from Siberia. Then we have also the hornbill. So these birds all together, here we call it likan. In Khasi language they call it kokkarang, but here we call it likan. But it is a hornbill. It's a yellow-bill hornbill. So these species are always here. So with all these trees also we have to conserve. Like the mentee said, because this is part of what we do. The local owner of the local forest in our area, some of the trees we don't allow them to uh, to be cut down, because those trees are bird for the food for the bird. Yeah, are you there?
I am. Thank you so
Okay.
much, sir, for such a detailed explanation. It was also wonderful to hear Sir Walson speak as well. And the translation has been very helpful. Please allow me to very briefly translate it in Hindi for some of our audience. And
I can speak in Hindi also.
that would be great. It would be great to hear that from you yourself. Sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'll do first, and you can do it better.
Sure, not a,
यहाँ
yeah.
हम रॉबर्टसन बसन और हम लोग का मंत्री जी विलेज चीफ वो भी बात करके हो चुका। यहाँ में हम लोग ये हिल माइनर को, ये चिड़िया जो हम लोग यहाँ में है, हम लोग के जंगल में हम लोग ये बर्ड नेस्ट, ये उन लोग का घर जो हम लोग बनाए पत्ता से और घास। और ये में जनवरी में हम लागत लकड़ी में हम लोग बहुत लंबा लकड़ी चाहिए, क्यों पहले से आदमी लोग सब काट के लंबा लंबा गाछे, तो अभी हम लोग को बहुत कम है लकड़ी। फिर भी यहाँ में आप देखने सकते हो मेरा पीछे से ये लंबा लकड़ी है, लेकिन ये छोटा है। तो ये के लिए, ये हिल माइनर के लिए हम लोग का जंगल में और बड़ा लंबा वाला लकड़ी चाहिए। इसलिए ये पॉपुलेशन हिल माइनर का बहुत कम हो चुका। तो हम लोग सुस्त, जो हम लोग इंटरनेशनल कंजर्वेशन ट्रेनिंग गया, तो वापस आया बस्ती में, विलेज में। तो पंचायत सरपंच लोग के साथ हम लोग बैठे और बात करके, और हम लोग फैसला लेके गया जो हम लोग बनाएगा ये घर हिल माइनर के लिए। तो उस पार में हम लोग लगाया उस टाइम में फर्स्ट ईयर में 2017 10 टू। तो बाद में हम लोग और ज्यादा लगाया घर चीज बर्ड के लिए, ये हिल माइनर के लिए। तो बाद में ये पॉपुलेशन हिल माइनर का ज्यादा हो गया, अभी 60% क्रॉस हो चुका। तो इसलिए ये के लिए हम लोग का टाइम लगता 2-3 साल नहीं, 5 साल का। और आजकल हम लोग का तरफ से, हम लोग का दरबार से, हम लोग का पंचायत से, हम लोग का सरपंच से हम लोग का बहुत मांगता कनेक्शन के लिए। जो आदमी चिड़िया देखने मांगता, चिड़िया को क्लिच फोटो करने का करता आने सकता हम लोग का साथ। लेकिन सीजन है, ये सीजन खाली अप्रैल मई, मार्च अप्रैल मई, ये समय क्यों लड़की और लड़का चिड़िया अ, आता होता और अंडा डिम लगाता। तो इस टाइम में हम लोग बहुत चिड़िया देख सकता। तो ये के लिए हम आप लोग को भी चाहिए जो हम लोग को मदद करने सकता। धन्यवाद।
Thank
और
you
any
so much,
question?
sir, for the translation. Yes, we're opening the space up for questions to be received, and we'd love to share them with you very soon. We'll be taking 2 more presentations, and then we can
Okay.
take the question answers together. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. तो जैसे सर ने बताया कि वहाँ मैना के साथ साथ और भी बहुत सारी चिड़ियाएं हैं जिनको बचाने का प्रयास यहाँ कम्युनिटीज ने किया है। स्मगलिंग की वजह से भी जो चिड़िया के बच्चे होते हैं उनको बड़े होने में दिक्कत होती थी। तो एक तो सर ने जो उनके लिए नेस्ट दिखाया जो पत्तों से और लकड़ी से पत्तों से और घास से बना है, वो बना के लगाए जाते हैं पेड़ के ऊपर ताकि चिड़ियाएं ब्रीड कर सकें और उनकी पॉपुलेशन बढ़ सके। ऑल्सो कम्युनिटी ने खुद के लिए रूल्स रेगुलेशंस भी बनाए हैं कि अगर कोई इन चिड़ियाओं के बच्चों को हार्म करता है तो उनको फाइन देना होता है। यहाँ पे इन रूल्स रेगुलेशंस की वजह से और इन कम्युनिटी लेवल एफर्ट्स की वजह से जो लोगों ने इकट्ठे आके किए हैं, वहाँ बर्ड्स की पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज हुई है। जैसे सर बता रहे थे 60% इंक्रीज हुई है। माइग्रेटरी बर्ड्स आती हैं वहां पे क्योंकि ये थोड़ा वार्म एरिया है। तो इनफैक्ट साइबेरिया से एक बर्ड आती है जिसके लिए ये हैबिटेट बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो उसके भी हैबिटेट कंजर्वेशन में बेहतरी हुई है और वो चिड़ियाएं वहां आके भी कंटिन्यूअसली रह सकती हैं। तो सर ने हमें ये भी बताया कि वहां पे वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि लोग आए और वहां रहें। वहां पे एक रिवर है तो उस रिवर का भी कंजर्वेशन का काम वो कर रहे हैं। छोटे छोटे एफर्ट से काफी बड़ा एफर्ट बन गया है अब ये, और अब वो इनकम कैसे हो सके कम्युनिटी की टूरिज्म के थ्रू। तो दिस इज अ वंडरफुल एफर्ट sharing this with us. Please stay with us, sir. We'll have questions coming in and we would love for you to answer them at your end. We'll move on to the next presentation for now, but please be with us. Sir, would you like to say something, Walson sir? Any?
We came all the way for about 4 to 5 kilometers away,
Right.
just for this internet session. And it's not easy to stay here We are in the field, actually.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll communicate that to the audience. If there are questions coming in immediately,
Okay, they
we
can
can take
ask
them.
now.
Okay.
They can ask now,
Okay, okay. हमारी ऑडियंस में कोई
whether
कुछ
in
लोग
Hindi or any language.
राइट ऑडियंस में कुछ लोग सवाल पूछना चाहेंगे सर से तो प्लीज पूछें क्योंकि जैसे सर बताए थे सर काफी डिस्टेंस ट्रैवल करके यहाँ पर आए हैं तो आपके कुछ क्वेश्चंस हो कुछ कमेंट्स हो ऑडियंस के तो प्लीज भेजें
No, I don't see any call.
so there's a question on the Q&A ये right we have a couple of questions. One is
Okay.
what challenges were faced during the process of conservation by you? And another question is how, if there's been any government support for you in this initiative. There's
The
some
first question,
questions. Yeah. Yeah.
the challenges we face was from our own villages, from our own people, from our own community, where we try to do this conservation. People say you are food to take care of wild birds. We are hunting it. We are selling it in the market. So what happened is it took times. It took about 1 year to really make them understand, such that they also have accepted it now. And it takes times to teach our children of the village not to shoot all the birds away, such that that was the first challenge. And the second challenge was how to keep up with making these bird nests from our own pocket, from our own funds, which we donate by our village members. Then we get funding from the government via Basin MBMA. Yeah, that is a one-time shot. And from now on, we have to depend on what we can bring in bird watchers groups, such that these will be incomes and will help the local village as well as for via tourism. Eco bird watcher. I think that's done with
Right.
the
I'll very quickly translate that and then we can go to the next question. तो सर ने बताया कि उनको अगर इस काम में कुछ दिक्कतें आई हैं तो वो एक तो जैसे कि हमने शायद काफी बार सभी ने एक्सपीरियंस भी किया होगा कि कुछ भी चेंज लाने के लिए शायद घर अपनी ही कम्युनिटी को पहले बताना होता है कि क्यों ये चेंज जरूरी है तो यही दिक्कत उन्होंने भी फेस की क्योंकि वहाँ ट्रेडिशनली शायद हंटिंग का प्रैक्टिस रहता है तो कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट में टर्न करने के लिए वो एक इनिशियल वो शुरू का एक प्रयास करना पड़ा कि लोग सभी समझें कि क्यों बर्ड्स को बचाना जरूरी है पर ये जान के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि अब बच्चों को भी बताया जा रहा है कि नहीं उनको शूट नहीं करना है उनको उनकी देखभाल करनी है उनके लिए इस जगह को सेफ बना के रखना है और फिर एक दूसरा दिक्कत उनके लिए रहा है फंडिंग का कि उन्होंने ये जो स्पेशली जो ये नेस्ट बनाने का ये प्रक्रिया रही है वो सब उनके खुद के फंड से उनके खुद के पैसे से खुद के काम खुद के मेहनत से उन्होंने बनाया है तो कुछ टाइम के लिए उनके पास फंडिंग रहा है एमबीएमए से पर अभी फिर से वो लोकल कम्युनिटी के ऊपर रिलाई कर रहे हैं फंडिंग के लिए श्रमदान के लिए तो ये एक चैलेंज रहा है सो वी कुड मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन that does answer both of our questions if you have any comments or anything to say please do we don't
my comments is this: overall, our effort, we would like you, your team, would try to look for funding for us and helping us connect to the bird watchers group of the world, such that this will help us at the international level and national level to have income, such that we could build homestay at the village. We could build a tourist park somewhere, and such that come here and yeah, chill out with the bird.
Right.
Yeah, that's my comment.
Thank you, sir. There's Sanjay Sharma, sir, wondering if he can bring communities from Nagaland and Manipur to learn from this great conservation initiative.
Welcome.
Thank you. We'd be able to connect you later on. Somebody's asking what led to the initiation of conservation of hill myna specifically.
Who's asking?
Sorry, there's a question in the chat asking
Yes.
what led to the conservation of hill myna.
The initiating process was like this. We have seen so many kids in so many villages, even in our villages, even the adults used to hunt birds with catapult during the night also while they're sleeping. During the daytime when they are walking the fields in their land, they always shooting, whether small or big, they always shoot them down with the catapult. Then when we have met Dr. Ashok from International Conservation Service, he came all the way from Thailand to help us. We went and we had a lot of chat during the whole day where we have to mimic the bird's sound just to know the name in English because we know only in our local language, which is quite difficult to communicate. But when we say it in the mimic sound of birds, they would understand. And like we get the way in Thailand how they conserve it, we want to try to bring it down here in Thailand and Cambodia. So how they conserve thrush, how they conserve all the small birds, insect eating, both eating birds. Then we did this as well here, and that's how we came back to the village and we sat in a community, especially the mentoring and the whole team. We have to discuss this a lot, and when we started out, it was like. This was the idea, the initiating idea for us to do ourselves with something new. And that we came because it was a hill myna, a state bird in Meghalaya. So we did that because this population of the bird is almost zero in those days. And now it's about 60. It has crossed 60.
Amazing. It's such a great effort, sir. It is wonderful to hear about this. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Have to move on to the next speaker, and I'm so glad we've taken some questions now. This has been a wonderful conversation. If you are sticking around, it would be lovely to have you here throughout the session, of course.
Thank you, ma'am, but we have no internet connection apart from this field that we have
Right.
here. You can have a look.
Oh,
We're all here with your team. We are in the
Oh.
fields.
right,
And this
right.
is the only place where we have internet better because right there is Bangladesh and the sun is setting there on the southern west. So now you see the nature as we see it.
I do.
Right.
Thank you so much. It must have taken you so much effort, but thank you so much for connecting with us. Please say hello to your entire team from us. It's been
You say hello to them. They're
lovely
here.
to see you. Hello, everybody.
This is the mentee here. There is a sunset. We are in the field.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yes. Have a safe journey back, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 6
Thank
kilometers
you.
away from here.
Yes.
Okay.
Reach safe. Right. All right. So that wonderful presentation, we can move on to our next speaker, who's from Karnataka. we'll be hearing Subramani M, sir, who's accompanied by Mahadevappa S. Pujar. Welcome, sir. You're sharing your experiences around Hanumanalli, reviving landscapes, empowering communities. Welcome. Please go ahead, sir. So you're on mute right now.
I think
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Namaskar, sir.
ಹನುಮನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಮುಳಬಾಗಲ್ ತಾಲೂಕು ಕೋಲಾರ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಈ ಸಮುದಾಯ ಆಸ್ತಿಗಳ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ
Before we begin, sir, is there another laptop or another device nearby? If there's a little bit of disturbance in sound,
Okay, sir. Mute ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
is it possible? Yes, if the other device is muted, it will be great.
Mute ಆಗಿದೆ.
Okay, please, sir, please go ahead.
Mute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹನುಮನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 1961ರಿಂದ
Mute ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಸರ್ವೆ ನಂಬರ್ 117, 118 ಮತ್ತೆ 119ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 85ರಿಂದ 90 ಎಕರೆ ಜಮೀನಿದ್ದು ಅದನ್ನ ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಪ್ಸ್ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ 1961 ಅಲ್ಲಿ NES ಸ್ಕೀಮ್, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಂತ ಆ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರಾಮದ ಜನ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಾಲಕ್ರಮೇಣ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾರಿ ಗ್ರಾಮದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. 85ರಿಂದ 90 ಎಕರೆ ಇದ್ದ ಜಮೀನು ಸುಮಾರು 2015-16ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಟ್ಟಾಗ ಬರೀ 45 ಎಕರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿತ್ತು. ಇನ್ನು ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಬೇರೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಜಮೀನನ್ನ ಮಂಜೂರು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅನುಭವದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಿ ಆಗಿನ CEO ರವರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ನವರನ್ನು ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಕಟಾವು ಮಾಡಿ ನೀಲಗಿರಿ ಗಿಡಗಳಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಬದುಗಳ ಸಮೇತ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 19,50,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬಂತು. ಆವಾಗ 50% ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಕಟ್ಟಡ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಡವನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ. ಆ ಕಟ್ಟಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ದೈನಂದಿನ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಉಳಿದ 50 ಭಾಗವನ್ನ 2018ರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿನ CEO ರವರಾದಂತಹ ಜಗದೀಶ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಅರಣ್ಯ DFO ರವರಾದಂತಹ ದೇವರಾಜ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾನ್ಯ RDPR ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ ಕೃಷ್ಣಬೈರೇಗೌಡರನ್ನ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆಸಿ ಈ ಜಾಗವನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಅವರೇ ಖುದ್ದು ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಜಾಗವನ್ನ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಿವಿಧ ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರೋತ್ಸಾಹ ನೀಡಿದ್ರು. ಅದರಂತೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಒಂದು ಸಹಯೋಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು 3,000 ಗಿಡಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೋಡಂಬಿ, ಹುಣಸೆ, ಆಲ, ಅರಳಿ ಮರ, ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲವಾಗುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 3,000 ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ವಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಗೋಡಂಬಿ ಯಥೇಚ್ಛವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷನೇ ಗೋಡಂಬಿ ಕಾಯಿಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡುವ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಳೆದು ನಿಂತಿದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳಿದ 50% ಭಾಗ ಏನಿದೆ ಹಣವನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅರಣ್ಯದ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಅರಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಫೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದೀವಿ. ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಫೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿ ಕಮಾನನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಹನುಮನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿ ಯಾರೋ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿ ದುರುಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ದೇ ಇರೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿದೀವಿ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮ್ಗಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಈ ಗೋಮಾಳ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಏನಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಅದ್ರ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಹನುಮನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಬೆಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲೆಮೂತಿ ಬಾವಿಗಳು, ಪೋಲಾರ್ ಲೀಫ್ ನೋಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ವರ್ಲ್ಡಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಬಾವಲಿಗಳನ್ನ ಉಸ್ಮಾನಿಯಾ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯವರು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿ 2010-11ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಚೆಗಡೆ ತಂದು ಅದನ್ನ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನೀಡಿದಾಗ ಆ ಬೆಟ್ಟನ ಸಹ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಇವಾಗ ಅರಣ್ಯ ಇಲಾಖೆಯವರ ಸಹಯೋಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿದೀವಿ. ಅವು ಸುಮಾರು ಆ ಬಾವಲಿಗಳು 5 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ಆಹಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ 5 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಓಡಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವಳ ಆಹಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಆಲದ ಮರಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿದೀವಿ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗಾರ್ಡ್ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಕಾವಲುಗಾರರ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ನೇಮಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಂಗಳ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಯಿಂದಾನೆ ಸಂಬಳ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಫೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ 45 ಎಕರೆಯನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಒತ್ತುವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಇವಾಗ.
तो आप ट्रांसलेट करना चाहेंगे या स्लाइड चेंज करना है तो बताएं प्लीज.
ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
Right. Sir, would you like to translate this in English or Hindi if possible?
Yes, yes,
Mahadevappa sir's with us. Yes.
yes. Give me a moment, ma'am.
Please, please.
So the Gram Panchayati was like there were some wasteland was there, ma'am. So in 2017, the Gram Panchayati, like the people have gathered and they have auctioned the fallen trees, like Nilgiris were more in number, and they have auctioned it, and by that amount, whatever the amount they have received, like they have made it like 50% was went to forest department, and the other 50% they the Gram Panchayati people took it, and with that 50% of amount, they have built one government panchayat office for them within that amount only. And whereas the forest department, those people, that 50% amount, they have utilized it, and they have given some more trees like fruits and flowerful and medicinal plants. They have given it back to the communities, and by this they have created a ecosystem. Whole ecosystem has been created in the Gram Panchayat, and even wildlife like deer and rabbits increased in the Gram Panchayati, and the community also fenced the area now, and they have built one compound walls to protect that area. That now it has under like they have also formed a samiti, like committee called Grama Parisara Abhiruddhi Samiti, and those people are looking after that, and they are all even celebrating a Kere Abba, like lake festival. Every year it has become ritual now, and this is how like it has become a study point for the many students, and now it has become a study area, and even like endangered species like leaf-nosed bat and all, we can only see in this area, particularly in this Gram Panchayat. It can be seen. So this is how like they have set an example to the whole other neighboring Gram Panchayats. So it's a, we can say that it's a totally community driven effort, and how they are balancing the development and conservation activities. So it's all about this one.
I'll just do. Is there another? Are there more comments? Yes.
By this, like also they have utilized that amount, and every year they will raise some financial aid with that land, and they are developing some road paths and parks in the particular village. Also nowadays, like they are getting some funds from MG Narega also. Yeah, I'm open for the questions, ma'am.
ठीक है. I'll just quickly translate it into Hindi, and I'll translate it into Hindi, and then we can take any questions that come towards the end. Please stay with us towards the end. There's one more presentation. We can take all the questions together at the end.
And do you want me to translate it to Hindi or what? I didn't got you.
I will translate it to Hindi
Okay, okay.
unless you want to. Okay. But do stay with us. तो जैसे सुब्रमणी सर ने और महादेवप्पा सर ने हमें बताया कि ग्राम पंचायत में कोलार डिस्ट्रिक्ट में क्लोजली कम्युनिटीज के साथ काफी उससे काम करके यहाँ पे यूकलिप्टस के पेड़ थे जिनको 2000 करके उनको ऑक्शन करके जो फंड्स आए उससे एक नया ऑफिस और जो बाकी के 50% बाकी के फंड्स थे उससे नेटिव स्पीशीज के फ्रूट्स फ्लावर्स मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स लगाए गए वहां पे अब वो एरिया फेंस हो गया और वाइल्ड काफी प्रॉस्पर कर रहा है तो उसको विलेज फॉरेस्ट एरिया के उससे डेजिग्नेट किया गया है के नाम से जाना जाता है रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस कम्युनिटी ने सेट किए हैं वहां पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी को बढ़ाने के लिए और उस विलेज फॉरेस्ट एरिया की सिक्योरिटी के लिए वहां पे एक वॉचमैन अपॉइंट किया है और बाकी के पंचायत बाकी के विलेजेस जो हैं वो काफी इंस्पिरेशन लेते हैं इस एरिया से वहां पे लोग देखने आते हैं कि कैसे वहां पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी के लिए बचाया जा रहा है सर आप बता पाएंगे कि सर वुड यू बी एबल टू टेल अस व्हाट मतलब इफ some species of biodiversity is increased we can take this question towards the end but one of the things we could maybe talk about anybody has any questions I can see some of them on the chat but we can take them towards the end of the session itself we are also being told हमें उसने ये भी बताया कि वहाँ पे जो गार्ड हैं इनको मंथली सैलरी दी जाती है और ये सब कम्युनिटी के कलेक्टिव से डिसाइड होके किया गया है थैंक यू सर हम क्वेश्चंस एंड पे लेते हैं we'll move towards the next presentation for now
ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ
Ma'am,
ಜಿಂಕೆಗಳಿಗೆ
like he is answering for the question, ma'am. How the guards, what was your question? Like,
question it wasn't a question right now sir's just mentioning that the guard has been appointed for the pasture land so if you can we'll just take the questions towards the end sir is that okay
okay, okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. We'll move towards our next speaker now who's our next speaker is from Kyrgyzstan
ಅಲ್ಲ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿಯಿಂದ
hear us we're inviting Muratalieva Ainagul who's accompanied by
Good afternoon. How we can share our presentation?
Yeah, we'd be sharing that from here, sir. Welcome to the session. It's lovely to see you. Please go ahead. For our
May I say
audience, you're yes.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Please.
This PPT on the screen, we'll just make it full screen. Acha. Okay.
Саламатсыздарбы. Мен Мураталиева Айнагүл, Кыргызстандын Суусамыр өрөөнүндө жашайм. 65 жаштамын. Суусамыр өрөөнү Кыргызстандын борбордук бөлүгүндө жайгашкан. Өрөөн 400 километр квадрат аянтты ээлейт. Уникалдуу Альп системасында деңиз деңгээлинен 2200-3200 бийиктикте жайгашып, суугу 40-50 градуска жетет. Суусамыр өрөөнү биологиялык ар түрдүүлүккө жана салттуу маданиятка бай уникалдуу жер. Бизде эндемикалык түрлөр жашайт. жашоочулар негизинен түпкүлүктүү айыл тургундары. Алар мал чарбачылыгы жана салттуу дыйканчылык менен алектенишет. Малдан уй, жылкы, кой, эчки багышат. Бээн сүтүнөн кыргыздын эң баалуу суусундугу кымыз жасашат. Уйдун сүтүнөн экологиялык таза сүт азыктарын, курут, сүзмө, сары май чыгарышат. Мындан тышкары майда кол өнөрчүлүк менен алектенишет. Койдун жүнүнөн шырдак, ала кийиз, ат жабдыктарын, боз үйдүн баардык жабдууларын жасап, жайында боз үйлөрү менен жайлоого көчүп кетишет. Жашылча мөмө жемиштер бышпайт. Аялдар, балдар күз келгенде тоолорду кыдырып, карагат, шырканак чогултуп сатып, кошумча киреше табышат. Ар кандай дары чөптөрдү чогултуп, пайдаланышып, калгандарын сатышат. Климаттын өзгөрүшүнүн жана адамдын табигый процесстерине кийлигишүүсүнүн шартында жергиликтүү коомчулуктун алдында экосистемаларды жана салттуу билимдерди сактоонун актуалдуу маселеси турат. Биздин өрөөндө малдын башынын көбөйүшүнөн жайыттар такырайып, биологиялык ар түрдүүлүктөр жоголуп, жана жашоо чөйрөсү бузулуу коркунучунда турат. Калктын санынын өсүшү, туруктуу практикалар жөнүндө маалыматтын жоктугу, биологиялык ар түрдүүлүктү коргоо үчүн инфраструктуранын жана башкаруунун жетишсиздиги көйгөйлөрү бар. Мен өзүмдүн өмүрүмдү биологиялык ар түрдүүлүктү сактоого, ата бабадан калган салттуу билимдерди келечек муундарга жеткирүүгө арнап келем. Ата бабалардын акылмандыгы жана туруктуу иш-аракеттерин колдонуу менен адам менен жаратылыштын гармониялык жанаша жашоосун камсыз кылсак деп умтулам. Мен жашаган Сусамыр өрөөнүндө кыш 6 айга созулат. Күз, кыш, жаз мезгилдеринде кар жаап, кардын калыңдыгы 60 сантиметрден 100 сантиметрге чейин жетет. Ошондуктан мал багууда, дыйканчылык кылууда ата бабалардан келе жаткан салттарды пайдаланабыз. Коомчулук тарабынан кабыл алынган чечимдер дайыма маанилүү. Мен чоң атам, чоң апам, атам, апам үйрөткөн салттуу билимдерди кызыгып, үйрөнүп келдим. Азыр балдарыма, аялдарга, жаштарга үйрөтүп жатам. Салттуу практиканы жаратылышты коргоонун заманбап талаптары менен шайыткеш келтирүүнү көздөйм. Мен тилектештеримдин иштери жөнүндө айтсам, Сусамыр өрөөнүнүн биологиялык ар түрдүүлүгүн сактоо боюнча демилгелерди ишке ашырууга өрөөндүн ар кайсы айылдарынан 30 активдүү катышуучу, анын ичинде аялдар, эркектер бар. Экологиялык демилгелерди ишке ашырууга жаштар, алар 15 адам катышып жатышат. Аялдар катышуучулардын 70%-ын түзүп, маалымат чогултууга, жайыттарда жана билим берүү программаларын түзүүгө жигердүү салым кошушту. Өрөөндүн эли коомчулук коргогон демилгелердин негизинде төмөндөгү улуттуу долбоорлорго ийгиликтүү катышып, социалдык өзгөрүүлөрдү жана туруктуу өнүгүүлөрдү алдыга жылдыра алдык. 2007 жылы Бириккен Улуттар Уюмунун жардамы менен маалыматтык борбор ачтык. 2008 жылы Бириккен Улуттар Уюмунун өнүктүрүү программасынын алкагында аялдардын бизнес долбоору ишке ашырылды. 2012 жылы ИСУР уюмунун чимирилген ийгим, ала тоодой бийигим демилгеси айылдагы жаш кыз келиндерге кол өнөрчүлүк боюнча жол көрсөткөн долбоор болуп калды. 2010 жылы аялдарга зомбулукка каршы күрөшүү үчүн бүткүл дүйнөлүк глобалдык аялдар фонду менен кызматташтык. 2016 жылы туура тамактануу үчүн Кыргыз Республикасынын Жарандык альянсынын алкагында байытылган унду ден соолук үчүн пайдасы маалыматын жайылтууга катыштык. 2018 жылы РДФ Айылдык өнүктүрүү фондунун жардамы менен Карагат Сусамыр өрөөнүнүн генетикалык ресурсу долбоорунун үстүндө иштедик. Жыл сайын өтүүчү айыл чарба көргөзмө жарманкесине, анын ичинде Алтын күз көргөзмөсүнө катышып турабыз. Салттуу билимге негизделген продукцияларды көргөзүп келебиз. Мындай көргөзмөлөргө катышуу аркылуу маданий мурастарды жана экологиялык жактан таза продукцияларды жайылтабыз. Башка катышуучулар менен активдүү баарлашып, кызматташтыкты бекемдейбиз. Мындан жергиликтүү коомчулук салттарды сактоого жана өнүктүрүүгө шыктанышат. Биологиялык ар түрдүүлүккө мониторинг жүргүзүүдө билимибиз жок болсо дагы ата бабадан калган салттык ыкмалар боюнча ата бабалардын билимдерине таянып жүргүзөбүз. Коомчулук ичинде жазылбаган закон болгон нерселер бар. Аксакалдар айтат, аны жаштар аткарат. Мисалы, кайсы жерге кайсы убакта малды багуу керек, дан өсүмдүктөрүн кайсы убакта себүү керектигин жана башка нерселер жөнүндө. Ошого жараша жаамат чогулуп, анан сүйлөшүп чечишет. Жерди туруктуу башкарууда жана экосистеманы калыбына келтирүүдө салттуу билим жана жергиликтүү катышуу негизги ролдорду ойнойт деп ишенем. Көңүл бурганыңыздарга рахмат.
Thank you so much. And I will translate Ainagul's speech for you.
Right. Hi, Malis. That's the. Please let me know if I'm pronouncing your names right. Please do feel free to introduce yourselves. Like.
Okay. It's an honor to present the inspiring story of Ainagul Muratalieva and her groundbreaking work in the Susamar Valley, Kyrgyzstan. Located in the heart of Central Asia, the Susamar Valley is not just a geographic wonder, spacing 4,000 square kilometers at altitudes of 2,200 to 3,200 meters. It's also a treasure trove of unique alpine ecosystem and rich cultural heritage. The livelihoods of the Wallis communities are deeply rooted in pastoralism, traditional agriculture, and small-scale crafts. Yet this harmony with nature is under threat. Overgrazing, biodiversity loss, and habitat degradation compounded the socio-economic pressures such as population growth and the lack of sustainable practice change this delicate balance. Enter Ainagul Muratalieva, a local leader and an advocate and above all guardian of traditional knowledge. Her mission is ambitious as it vital to bridge traditional practices with modern conservation needs. Ainagul's works is a beacon of hope, showing how community-led initiatives can drive a meaningful change. In her initiatives, Ainagul has successfully mobilized 30 active participants for various villages. 70% of whom are women. This remarkable gender inclusive reflects a broad societal shift, empowering women as stewards of conservation and leads in sustainable development. With 12 young participants under the age of 35 bringing fresh perspective. Ainagul's efforts also ensure that the torch of stewardship is passed to future generations. Her journey is marked by impactful milestones. from contributing to the UN Volunteer Fund and collaboration with the UNDP Women's Business Center to leading initiatives that combat violence against women. Ainagul has a rich tapestry of community empowerment and advocacy. She has also championed healthier nutrition through partnership with the Civil Alliance for Healthy Natural Nutrition, promoting fortified flour for the better public health. A cornerstone of Ainagul's work is biodiversity monitoring, focusing on high altitude pasture ecosystems vital to both local livelihoods and biodiversity. By integration traditional knowledge with scientific approach, her work example the power of community-based conservation. She has proven that by involving women, youth, and local community groups, conservation planning can be both inclusive and effective. This case study is not just about Ainagul, it's testament to the resilience and wisdom of communities like hers. It's a story of how local solutions can address global challenges, reminding us of all of the importance of preserving nature and cultural heritage for future generation. Let us draw inspiration from Ainagul's work and her unwavering commitment to sustainability and cultural preservation. Together we can champion the principles she stands for: harmony with nature, inclusion, and community-driven solutions. Thank you.
Translate this in Hindi and for our audience, and then we have some questions coming in for Ainagul ma'am. I hope that's okay. So I'll just take 2 minutes. तो ainagul जी ने हमें बताया कि कैसे किर्गिस्तान में जिन एरिया में वो रहती हैं वहां पे 4000 किलोमीटर स्क्वायर का पैस्चर लैंड है और हिली एरिया है, ऑल्टीट्यूड 2000 से 3000 मीटर है। वहां पे जो लाइवलीहुड्स हैं लोगों के, पेस्टोरलिज्म है, ट्रेडिशनल एग्रीकल्चर और लोकल क्राफ्ट्स पे रियलाइज करते हैं। ओवरग्रेजिंग की वजह से उनकी जो ये हैबिटेट है उसमें वो खराब होता जा रहा है। वहां पे काफी लोग भी हैं पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ की वजह से, जो बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हम बाकी जगह के चारागाहों पे देखते हैं, सिमिलर चैलेंजेस इस जगह पे भी हैं। इनके अफेक्ट से जो चारागाह हैं वहां पे उनकी उसमें गिरावट आ रही है और उससे लोगों को क्योंकि उनकी लाइवलीहुड्स जो है, उनकी आमदनी चारागाह से बहुत क्लोजली लिंक्ड है, तो वहां पे उनकी आमदनी में भी, उनकी लाइफ्स में भी दिक्कत है। तो उन्होंने कम्युनिटी बेस्ड कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट्स किए हैं जहाँ पे उन्होंने ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज अपने जो कम्युनिटी की बहुत टाइम से रही हुई नॉलेज है उसको इंटीग्रेट किया है, रोटेशनल ग्रेजिंग जैसी चीजें यूज की हैं ताकि जो वहाँ का हैबिटेट है वो रिस्टोर हो सके। उन्होंने बायोडाइवर्सिटी को भी काफी ध्यान से मॉनिटर किया है, देखा है कि किस चीज का इम्पैक्ट कैसे पड़ रहा है और उसको बेहतर कैसे कर सकते हैं। और औरतों को और कम्युनिटी के जवान लोगों को स्पेशली एंगेज किया है इन सब एफर्ट्स में। आयनागुल जी को काफी रिकॉग्निशन भी मिला है यूएन की तरफ से भी। बहुत सारे एरियाज में उनके काम को रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया है और जो यहाँ का इकोसिस्टम है उसकी हेल्थ काफी बेहतर हुई है। तो उनकी प्रेजेंटेशन इस बारे में थी। अब हम कुछ सवाल अपने स्पीकर्स से पूछ सकते हैं। आपके किन्हीं भी स्पीकर्स के लिए कुछ सवाल हो तो प्लीज चैट बॉक्स में शेयर करें। मैं पहला सवाल पूछना चाहूंगी। सो दिस अ क्वेश्चन फॉर Ainakul ma'am, asking what the impact on biodiversity in the region has been due to climate change. And essentially, how have these collective efforts, how are they enhancing the resilience of the region? If you could just tell us a little bit in detail about the collective efforts undertaken, well, that would be very helpful. If you could please translate my question to ma'am, would that be possible? You're on mute, Malice. Right.
Hello for everyone. Thank you for your question. And can you
Could you hear me?
explain what you mean in this question? Because it's not so understandable for us. Can you explain, please?
Sorry, would you like me to say it again, the question?
No, I see the question. Is there any impact on biodiversity in your region due to the climate change? It's not so understandable for us. Can you explain it? What you mean? It's a question of SD.
I think the person's trying to ask whether what sort of an impact you are seeing in your region on the biodiversity in your region happening due to climate change.
It means own impact of Ainagul, or it means maybe other activities in our country, maybe in other.
Essentially the impact of climate change on your region's biodiversity and a little bit of details about the collective, the action, community action, which is led by Ainagul ma'am. How that is helping create resilience against climate change. Any of these efforts, any of these impacts of climate change.
Okay, I will try to explain and translate for Miss Ainagul. Сұрайды мынау қылып жатқан іс әрекетіңіз ошо неме айлана чөйрөгө биоразнообразияга немеси мындай немеси какой то бир таасири барбы дейт.
Ооба бар. Бизде бул Сусамыр өрөөнүндө 472.500 гектар жер бар, жайыт. Ошол жайытта бүт Кыргызстандын бардык районторунан, бардык областтарынан жайында малдын баары ошол жака көчүп барып жайлашат. Анын малдын санынын көптүгүнөн жердин кыртышы бузулуп, биоарчивдүүлүк жоголуп, жана өсүмдүктөр жок болуп кетип атат да. Ошондуктан мен ушул ишти колго алып, ошол башка областтардан да, Казакстандан да келип жайлашат. Ошол малчыларды түшүндүрүү иштерин жүргүзүп, анан салттуу билим боюнча салт менен жайытты которуштуруп, малды жайууга үндөп, ошол өзүбүздүн жерди, биоактивдүүлүктү сактап калууга аракет кылып жатам да.
Okay, I will explain the answer. Susamur in Susamur Valley, Usually local people using in but, usually have breeds or you have a cattle and usual this, one moment. Usual farm of people it's a breeding and there are 470,000 hectares of pasture in this valley. Therefore, a lot of people came and breeding their cattle, also from Kazakhstan with both the neighbors, and they because pasture uses a lot of cattle. There are a lot of cases when pasture was degraded. There is a violation of pasture, and in order to solve this problem, she tried to learn all pastures. How did we use early? How our just one moment. How our ancestors use pasture and using of traditional knowledge, she will try that. For example, if you will use one pasture in past year, you cannot use in the next year, and there are a lot of many traditional approach in order to solve this problem. And she will try it. Thank you.
Thank you. That does answer the question very well. Thank you. That also answers my question that I was going to ask ma'am anyway about traditional knowledge, about what kinds of practices were traditionally seen in the area. And you, like you mentioned, like this is one form of traditional knowledge, traditional practice, that if you use one pasture in a year, you leave that pasture alone in the next year to sort of to regenerate. I'll just translate this in Hindi for our audience, and then we can see if there's any more questions. But thank you so much, Aina Gulji. It was wonderful to learn about your work. It's also been wonderful to hear that you've engaged so many women and youth around you. In fact, I have another.
Thank you.
Right. I do have another question coming in. Is it okay if we can ask it right now? There's a lot of appreciation happening for your work also in the question and answer box. So that is wonderful. It's wonderful to have you with us. So there's a question from Shilpi, who's asking whether some of your efforts have been duplicated in the neighboring areas. Have more villages, neighboring villages seen your efforts, and have they also tried to adopt the traditional practices or collective action? Alice, would you be able to translate this for ma'am?
Ошо рахмат ушу берген маалымат бизде да ушу немени ушул традиционный ошо билимдерди колдонууга аракет кылабыз. Бизде да ушундай практикалар болот дейт. Ошо рахмат бөлүшкөнүңүзгө дейт. Чоң.
Рахмат.
Maybe other participants of our meeting has questions for Ms. Senegul. We are open. Can you ask? Feel free. Thank you.
I just one of the questions that has been asked is sorry. Yes, if the efforts have been duplicated in the neighboring areas, how do your neighboring villages, neighboring areas see your efforts? Are they also trying to increase these efforts at their end? That is a question on the question answer box. Could you translate that for ma'am?
Can you repeat, please, short form, because I lose my mind when it's long.
I will also type this question in the chat box. So you can also see it in the chat box there. The question is whether neighboring villages have taken up these community efforts also.
Okay, thank you. You mean, have we experience using our approaching for other neighboring countries?
Have the neighbors been able to adopt this practice also? Has anybody also looked at you as an example and taken up this practice as well in the neighboring areas? Neighboring villages. I also have another question. If you're, we can come back to this question later. If this is right. I was wondering how ma'am has so ma'am is connected with so many women in the area. Were there any challenges in involving women and youth in the community-driven practice? Please translate that for me. The electricity just went out. Could you please translate that for ma'am?
Okay,
Any any challenges in involving women and youth in the work?
Окей. Эми ушул кылып жаткан иш аракетибизде кандай кыйынчылыктар болот дейт.
Эми кылып жаткан иш аракетте көпчүлүккө ушул жердин экосистемасын био активдүүлүктү сактап калуу боюнча билимдердин жетишсиздигинен ушул ортодо келишпестиктер, түшүнбөстүктөр болот. Аларды окутабыз, үйрөтөбүз. Анан жаштарды тартууга аракет кылабыз. Дагы биз могу жердин кыртыштарын сактап жана биодүстүрлүктү сактоодо эң суу самыр өрөөнү боюнча эң чоң кыйынчылык азыр 18.000 гектар жерди эми 6 гана караган басып кетти да. 6 гана караганы деп коет. Караганы. 6 гана 18.000 гектар жер ушуну жайыт 18.000 гектар жер жараксыз болуп калды. Жылына 2-3%ке көбөйүп атат.
Ушунда бул немеби, неме?
6 гана деп кой, караганы орусча. Тикенектүү ушу жайыт, сарняк жайытты бузуп атат да. Биз ушул менен күрөшүүдө аябай чоң кыйынчылыкка туш болуп атабыз. Мамлекеттик уюмдар деле аракет кылып атат, бирок ушул ишти ошол көбөйүшүн токтото албай атабыз.
Okay, I will translate. There are a lot of problems, challenges, and one of them she wants to highlight. It's lack of knowledge of local person. Not every people understand that degradation is a really problem. They suppose they can always
Right.
use natural land resources. Not always all people understand that it has a limit of our resources. And therefore, for this situation, there are a lot of misunderstanding of each other. And in order to solve this problem, usually she tries to involve young people, young generation, because they are more flexible, and they more educated usually. And she tried to work with young generation in order they describe for older generation. And second, really problem it's now in this valley, uh, 18,000 of hectare. It's now which they cannot use uh, because it's covered a lot of weeds. It's I cannot translate the name of these weeds, but it create really a lot of problem because these weeds cannot eat any cattle. They cannot um, uh, destroy these weeds because it's a lot of area and there is no sources in order to struggle with it. And every year the switch became more on 2 or 3% in every year. It's a really big challenge now in this valley. Thank you.
I will go ahead and translate it in Hindi. Um, we also have questions for other speakers, so if you could also switch on their cameras. It would be it would be lovely to see everybody on the screen. Fleming sir, if you could, Subramani sir, also if you could switch on your cameras, it would be very helpful. तो आइनगुल जी से हमने समझा अभी, उनसे कुछ सवाल जवाब जो पूछ
I think Nishta has lost connection. She'll be joining in a minute. She was just sharing a gist of what Ainagul madam was just sharing about her experiences.
एक मिनट अपन करते हैं यहाँ से मैं रीनेम
Hello, sorry, I lost connection on my device for a bit. We were just sort of, I was talking about how Ainagul ma'am mentioned that there were challenges in engaging the community there initially, the way every sort of a community effort takes time and a shared understanding to come together. तो अनगुल मैम जी से हमने पूछा था कि उनको कुछ दिक्कतें आई थी क्या जब वो औरतों को और अपने कम्युनिटी के यूथ को अपने कम्युनिटी के यूथ को एक साथ लेके आने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। तो उन्होंने बताया कि हाँ, लोगों को समझने में थोड़ा टाइम तो लगता ही है कि डेग्रेडेशन हो रहा है हर किसी को, शायद ये क्योंकि आंखों के सामने एकदम से नहीं दिखता तो थोड़ा टाइम लगता है। तो इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए उन्होंने यूथ को इन्वॉल्व करना शुरू किया। जो जवान लोग हैं कम्युनिटी में उनसे बात की क्योंकि वो थोड़ा फ्लेक्सिबल होते हैं इस चीज में, वो देख पा रहे हैं कि चीजें चेंज हो रही हैं आगे आने वाले समय के लिए। तो ऐसे उन्होंने अपने दिक्कतों को सॉल्व किया और कम्युनिटी को इकट्ठे लेके आए। हम थोड़े से और सवाल जवाब पूछना चाहेंगे. We'll just ask some questions to to the other speakers as well. Fleming sir, there's a question for you in the chat box.
Mhm.
Just it. Yes, are there the
I see
questions?
also.
Yes, no, go ahead, sir.
Sorry. I see other question. Any challenge in involving women and the youth in collective action work? Can you
Right.
answer? Дагы бир суроо беришти. Дагы неме аялдарды анан жаш муунду мындай чогулуп иш аракет кылганда да кыйынчылыктар барбы дейт. Болсо кандай депчи. Аялдар анан жаш муун.
Жаш муулдарды чогулуп жаштар менен иштөөдө анча көп кыйынчылыктар болбойт. Жаштар дароо эле азыркы биз заманбап иштерди дагы кошуп иштегендиктен алар дароо эле макул болуп жаштарды уюштуруу жакшыраак. Аялдар менен иштөөдө кичине проблема болот, көйгөй болот. Анткени алардын үй бүлөлөрү менталитетке карата күйөөлөрү кээде чогулуштарга, иш чараларга жибербеген убакыттар болот. Ал үчүн дагы өзүнчө иштерди жүргүзөбүз. Колубуздан келген иштин баарын аракетти жасайбыз.
Okay, I'll translate. About young generation, she said there is no problem to communicate with them, make collective action in order to work, because they usually use modern technologies. They have, I suppose, special chat groups, and there is no problem with young generation. Also, women is also active, but they have define duties, because they are usually, all of them are married, they have children, therefore maybe some period when they have no time in order to participate and be more active, and also the problem when usually husbands do not allow to go to participate in such public activities. It's one of also problem. And but she's not she tried to work for all of young generation and all women who are involved in these activities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for translating. So good to hear. We'll move towards our next question quickly, which is to Sir Fleming Lingdo, who's been with us since the beginning of the session. So the question for you has been on the chat box. It's from Chen Udayo, who's asking if there are any traditional knowledge systems or indigenous practices in the communities that that have been integrated into the conservation efforts.
Yeah, okay. First of all, to Mr. Chen, thank you so much for bringing up this question. You know, it's very, I forgot to put it in my slide. So yes, there have been, the first point, you know, the first practice is that most of these forests, you know, these areas in these areas are owned by the clan, a huge group of clan. So to protect these, you know, these forests and the flora and fauna in these forests. So what do these clans did? They converted these clan forests into a sacred forest. Some kind of I would not say ritual, but they, you know, some kind of a belief. They believe and ritualistic practices are practiced in these forests that anyone cannot be allowed to go inside the forest and do whatever they want, you know. Some kind of ritual is a practice in these forests. So if anyone do some kind of malpractice to these forests. Say, for example, if they enter the forest, if they just cut down a tree, or if they just kill an animal, something will happen to that person. I mean, it's a belief, but it's actually people have been saying that it's actually happening out there. So if anyone just go there in the forest without the consent from the clan or from the community, if they do some kind of malpractice, if they kill an animal, so the next day that person or that culprit something bad will happen to that person. Say, for example, he will get sick, or something, a bruise will happen to his hands. These kind of practices are happening, so they are converted into sacred forests. The second is that, whenever these plantation happen, these community, what they do, they advise the government departments to only provide them the indigenous saplings. They do not want invasive species from, they do not want saplings from Assam or from other places. They only look for indigenous species to enhance and to improve their own indigenous species. And the third is that it's a very interesting fact. Actually, they have this practice called the seed balls, where uh, in Meghalaya, it's mostly about the landscape. It's all hilly areas, where there's steep and hills and slopes. So whenever they cannot go and plant saplings in those areas, what they do, they take out these seeds, and then what they do, they put it in a in a mud. With these mud, they mix charcoal, they mix some cow dung and some sand, and they will mix it. They will put these seeds in that mud. They will roll in the form of a ball, and then they will dry it, for a day or two. And during the planting season, for monsoon season, they don't have to go down the steep or down the hills to go and plant trees. They will just throw it out. Throw it out wherever they go. So they encourage the kids also, wherever they go, to take these seed balls in their pockets and to throw in the forest, in the forest, or in those areas where they are not go by foot. So what happens, after the rain, probably say for a month or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, these seeds in those seed balls will start to germinate. So this is the very best practice, actually. So for so far, I have only collected and noted only these three kind of practices based from the indigenous and perspective, and efforts to do conservation.
That sounds great. I'll quickly translate this in Hindi for the rest of the audience. Thank you. So, लिंगडो सर से हमने पूछा था कि कुछ इंडिजिनस प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज है जो जिस कम्युनिटी एफर्ट की उन्होंने बात की, जो उनके प्रयास रहे हैं, वो कैसे उसमें इंटीग्रेट हुई हैं। तो सर ने बताया कि वहाँ पे जो सेक्रेड फॉरेस्ट हैं, वहाँ पे बिलीफ है कि अगर कोई कम्युनिटी या क्लैन से बिना पूछे, बिना उनके जाने जंगल के अंदर जाता है, तो ये मान्यता है कि अगले दिन उनकी या तो तबीयत खराब हो जाती है या फिर चोट लग जाती है। तो इस मान्यता की वजह से फॉरेस्ट्स जो हैं वो थोड़े कंजर्व रह पाते हैं, कि लोग बिना पूछे या फिर जो बाहर के लोग हैं वो एक पर्टिकुलर फॉरेस्ट के अंदर नहीं जाते। दूसरा उन्होंने बोला कि इस एफर्ट के अंदर जो सैपलिंग्स लगाए जा रहे हैं वो नेटिव स्पीशीज के सैपलिंग्स हैं, तो वहीं की इकोलॉजी, वहीं की बायोडाइवर्सिटी कंजर्व्ड रहे, और अगर डिग्रेड हुई है तो वापस से जो पहले बेहतर स्टेज था उस पे आ सके। तीसरा उन्होंने बताया कि सीड बॉल्स का यूज का प्रैक्टिस वहां पे है, कि बीज और मिट्टी की बॉल्स बना के उनको ज्यादा दूर तक जाना नहीं पड़ता प्लांट करने के लिए। वो काफी सारे और मेथड से उनको प्लांट कर सकते हैं, जैसे थोड़ा फेंक के प्लांट कर सकते हैं, तो मेहनत कम लगती है और इसके रिजल्ट्स अच्छे रहते हैं। तो ये सवाल था जिनका उन्होंने जवाब दिया। आपके और भी कोई सवाल हो, आप आपस में एक दूसरे से बात करना चाहते हो, कुछ कहना चाहते हो, तो प्लीज हमें बताएं। हमारे साथ कुछ ऑडियंस जुड़ी है लोकल स्क्रीनिंग के थ्रू भी, तो वो भी अगर
I think I
बताना चाहें।
got I think I got one question from so you're asking about the seed balls, the making of the seed balls. So yeah, it's a very simple and very natural and very easy way based from the community perspective. So you have the soil, most probably the alluvial soil, and you have the cow dung, you have the sand, and you have the seed, And also, I forgot to mention, you have the the rice water. When you wash the rice, and that water is filtered. So these components, they have their own importance. Say, for example, the soil, for combining everything in one spot, and the cow dung is supposed to be the fertilizer, and the sand. What the community believes is, if you do not put the sand, so what happens, the compact of the soil, it's too tight, so it will be difficult for the seed to germinate, or when the rain comes, it will be difficult for the water to penetrate down to the seed. So what does the sand do? It will create some kind of a space, so the soil will not become too packed, so that will help the seed to germinate. And also the rice water, it's a very interesting fact actually from the community. So it is believed that the rice water will prevent the seed from getting infected by pests or from any other insects, inside the soil. So what they do, they will combine all these sand, these rice water, the cow dung, and the soil together. They will mix together in a very good quantity, say the size of a seed ball. And after that, they will pick the seeds, just one seed ball. So they will pick the seed and they will insert it inside the seed ball. They will roll it down and they will dry it under the shade. Under the shade, not directly to the sun, under the shade, for a day or two. So once it's become hard, not hard enough, so they will go around the the area, the forest, so they will just throw around to those places where it is not easy for them to go and plant. And also, I think it is the fastest way to grow new saplings, because if you're gonna grow if you're gonna go plant trees, you will have to dig the soil, you will have to plant, there are a lot of steps to do, but this is a very simple way. You just go and just throw it out. And also, it has been told that the success rate of this, it's higher, because you throw to those places where people and are not accessible, to those hilly areas. So after a year or 2 years, you can see those species started germinating from those seed balls. So that is how it is practiced that in the area.
Right. Thank you so much for answering that in detail.
Yeah, it's all right. Sure.
Right. While I translate, I feel like it's also it's very interesting. If some team members from Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh would have been here, they would have sort of agreed and sort of commented that seed balls. It's very interesting that they're used in so many places. They're also used in Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. It's very interesting that there's such commonalities in the ways that communities continue to conserve their commons and increase biodiversity in such ways. Thank you so much for your answer. There's a quick question for the Karnataka team as well. Sir, if you could please switch on your cameras. There's a question for the Karnataka team from Shivangi, who's asking about the involvement of youth in Hanuman Hali, how that has contributed to reviving landscapes. Yes. Mahadev Appaji, are you here? Yes. The unmute, could you unmute? Yes.
ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸು ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾ. ಗುಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್ ಮೇಡಮ್.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes.
As we have already discussed about this conservation of our forest land, here I am the representative of the Gram Panchayat, the local body, which comes under the state government of Karnataka. And we have one program that Mahatma Gandhi Rashtriya NRG, National Employment Guarantee Act. Under that act, we have developed the park with amount of 10 lakhs, and we have taken some activities there and placing the sitting chairs, as well as we have done the fencing to that park with extent of 1 acre there, where we have planted some medicine trees, as well as some
trees were oriented for fodder to the some animals like rabbits, deers, as well as some birds there. And here we have asked about the involvement of the youths. Our Hanmale. This is that MGNRJ scheme itself is a labor-oriented program that we will provide the employment to the youths after 18 years, 18 plus youths, and those youths who are unemployed in the villages will having a good involvement in that activities, whatever works we will taken up in that area, and they will come and involve with heartfully with 100% attendance, and they will also tie up with our Gram Panchayat local body to implement that area with well and good. And also some of the different universities delegates have been visited to that spot, and they have studied about the leaf node bat, which is a special endangered leaf node bat. Especially we can see in that particular area only. In all over world, we can't see that type of endangered except that Hanumrali village, what we have already discussed about this matter. And with attached to that, we have developed that lake with amount of 30 to 40 lakhs in that scheme only, MG Narega schemes, where we have done that desilting activities as well as improvement of the inlet channel through which water will come to the catchment area of the lake, as well as bundings, developing the road. These also some water related works we have taken to develop that particular area, madam.
Okay.
Thank you.
ओके सो आपने अभी बताया कि क्योंकि नरेगा के तहत ये काम होता है फेंसिंग का, और अभी आपने लेक डिसिल्टेशन भी मेंशन किया, तो उसमें यूथ का इन्वॉल्वमेंट काफी है, क्योंकि वो लेबर ओरिएंटेड काम है, मेहनत मतलब हार्ड वर्क है, तो यूथ का 18+ यूथ का इन्वॉल्वमेंट रहता है. थैंक यू सर फॉर आंसरिंग दीज क्वेश्चंस. Can we request the speakers to once please switch on their cameras together so we can maybe take a screenshot for how this session has been. It would be lovely to have all of these, all of the faces to put them sort of against the voices we've been hearing. It would be lovely. Aina Gul ma'am, if you could, is it possible for you to switch on your camera as well? Ma'am, if you could switch on your camera also. हमारे साथ we also have people connected with us through local screenings. Please let us know if somebody wants to ask any questions from the local screenings, if there's any comments from there. We are also sharing a link for the local screenings feedback form. हमारे साथ लोकल स्क्रीनिंग से जो लोग जुड़े हैं, अगर वो चैट बॉक्स में एक बार देखेंगे तो एक लोकल स्क्रीनिंग फीडबैक फॉर्म का लिंक उसमें रहेगा. आप एक बार प्लीज देखें, अगर आप उसको एक्सेस करके हम तक थोड़ा फीडबैक पहुंचा सकते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा. आपके कुछ सवाल हों, अगर उनको हम आप पहुंचाना चाहें यहाँ तक, तो प्लीज बताएं. Welcome back, Ainabul ma'am. Thank you so much, everybody. We don't have any more questions, but thank you so much for such a lively and such a lovely discussion. If you, Fleming sir, if you want to ask any questions, Anagul ma'am, if you want to ask any questions, let us know. But otherwise, it's been a wonderful, wonderful session. It was very, very interesting for me to see how there are commonalities in so many of these conservation efforts that communities across the country, in the neighboring countries across the world take up. The fact that communities take ownership of these conservation efforts means the world to that particular effort. And the fact that traditional knowledge is so critical for all of these efforts to be successful, the fact that all of us sort of end up going back to the roots of these traditional knowledge uh, to pave the way for ourselves, for the communities, for the livestock, for the wildlife that is connected with us, for the entire ecosystem. It has been extremely engaging, extremely wonderful to know that all of us, our ways are sort of somewhere connected with this common thread. Thank you so much for joining us here. It's been extremely, extremely wonderful to have you all here. Please reach out to us. You have our email IDs. Please let us know in case you have any comments. You can share them here. You can share them later. Please let us know. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I hope we connect again sometime.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thank
Please
you
join
for
us tomorrow
participants.
if
Thank you very
you're.
much.
Sorry, sir.
Thank you for all participants. Thank you for this meeting. It was very interesting and useful for everyone, I suppose. Thank you.
Yes, it was lovely having you. We have this conference on for another day tomorrow. We'd have another 4 channels going on tomorrow as well. If you feel like joining, please do. Please let us know if you need any links. They are shared with you, I think, already. But feel free to join in tomorrow as well. There are different things being covered tomorrow as well. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.